Friday, the 13th of March, 1964. Kitty Genovese, a 28-year-old bar manager, is walking home in the night. She's in front of her two-story Tudor building, across from the stately Mowbray apartment house, when she sees the man with the knife. As the New York Times would write, 2 weeks after the murder, 38 respectable, law-abiding citizens watched, many from these windows, and did nothing.
That shocked the city. Now, it's not that a person got murdered that shocked the city. That happens, sadly. It's that a person got murdered and her neighbors watched and nobody did anything.
Research suggests that often a victim is less likely to receive assistance when surrounded by a group rather than a single bystander. When people are in a crowd, it's easier to pass the buck. It's what psychologists call the diffusion of responsibility.
The fundamental idea behind the bystander effect is as follows. When you are in a larger crowd, you're less likely to receive aid and assistance.
It's always very distressing to watch situations like this where people are obviously suffering and no one's actually helping them. But what we have here is two conflicting rules. One is the rule that we ought to help, and the other is the rule that we ought to do what everybody else is doing. And here you have effectively a group of strangers who are exerting the pressure not to intervene, not to help. And it's very difficult to rebel.
What they did to these experimental subjects was had them listen to someone describing the symptoms of a stroke and then calling out for help. What they were interested in was, would the individual with headphones on, alone in a room, yell out for help, or bang on the door, open the door, break the bounds of the experiment and say, this person needs help, and I want to do it. Let me share the results of that study with you. In a 6-minute period following the onset of the individual describing stroke symptoms, when a person was made to feel alone, that they were the only one hearing, over 80% helped within a 6-minute time window. When they thought there were more people present, that was reduced to over 60%. In the belief that there were 5 other people present, less than half did anything. They also looked at the time to help, and we see a very similar effect. The pattern looks different, but as I'll explain, the idea is simple. When you're alone, you're more quick to help if you do provide help. And you see the average time to provide assistance was less than a minute, 50 seconds. But with 2 people present, that time went up, and with 5 people present, almost 3 minutes on average before someone helped. This was described at the time as being a result of diffusion of responsibility. That in the presence of other people, we don't feel a responsibility to step up, to intervene, to help.
What would you do if you saw someone, especially a child, in trouble? Would you jump in to help or assume that somebody else would do it? Recently, we went to the streets of suburban New York and put some folks to the test.
Hey, where were you, young lady?
You're not my dad! You're not my dad!
It's unbelievable, but they did nothing.
Help me!
Bill and Raquel repeated this time after time.
Hey!
Please, someone help me! You're not my dad! Please, someone help me! You're not my dad! Please!
Still no response. Bill would have been long gone with 7-year-old Raquel. It took hours, but 2 men finally listened to their instincts.
Help me! You're not my dad! Someone 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 help me!
TV. Cops right there. Cops right there. Good job.
As long as one person actively helps, people are more likely to jump to be in a position to aid further. I want to know, what are you going to do to make a difference?